Welcome to the Dodger Download, the official podcast of the Fort Dodge Community School District. Each episode brings you the latest updates from our schools, including school board recaps, interviews with educators, staff, and students, plus upcoming events and stories from around the district. Whether you're a parent, student, or community member, stay connected to what's happening in the Dodger Nation. Let's dive into this episode of the Dodger Download. Welcome to the Dodger Download. This is the official podcast of Fort Dodge Schools. I'm Superintendent Josh Porter, and today's episode is all about our district technology. So whether you are a parent, student, or a proud Dodger, we're glad you're here today. I want to start by thanking our sponsor today, Decker Truck Line. The roads changed, and so has trucking. At Decker Truck Line, we move freight with purpose, combining modern equipment, smart technology, and drivers who know their worth. This isn't just about getting there. It's about how you get there and knowing you got a team behind you every mile. Family owned, forward thinking, built in Fort Dodge, and running nationwide. Decker Truck Line. Drive smarter, drive Decker. All right, now it's time for board tidbits. Had our board meeting on Monday, March 9th. Spring break week, so a pretty quiet week. It's kind of a weird board meeting. There's nobody in the district hardly at all outside of about, maybe a few 260-day employees, and a lot of those people take vacation, but we still had a board meeting. Not really a whole lot of action on the board meeting. So we had some policy primers. So Iowa School Board Association sent us updates on policies, board policies. Some of it is mandated, so some of it's just automatically. We just have to approve it. These were all mandated changes. Oddly enough, it looks like we changed a whole lot of stuff in about 20 policies, but it was really just the address of a courthouse of something out of Des Moines. And we were just required to change it on all of the documents, but we have to have board action to approve it. So the other piece was negotiations. So we ratified our agreements. We've done all of our negotiations for the district. Ultimately, what that means is all of our staff's raises were approved by the board. March 17th is the first legal day to send contracts out. So now that they've all been ratified, all of our agreements. We did actually a couple odd agreements this year. We did 3-year agreements with our bus drivers and our paraprofessionals, which is a little bit different. Usually it's a 1 or 2 year agreement, but working with both those groups, that's kind of what they wanted to do. So we talk about percentages. So it was a 3.05% raise for everybody. But on the teaching side, it's a little bit different. We do a dollar amount. So every teacher will get an $1,875 raise. Across the board for the teachers. So that goes into effect on next year's contract. So new contracts will roll out to everybody on the 17th of March. I think they're due back 21 days later legally. So we'll go through all those processes. The only other thing we had on there was an item, one of your items. So we had fiber, and was it dark fiber?
Yeah,
we approved?
Dark fiber. Yep.
So what was that? What did we approve?
So basically, what the dark fiber is it's just the wiring between our 10 district locations.
Gotcha.
So this helps bring all of our stuff into one network.
One network, yeah.
Yep.
So, and I think previously we've been with Mediacom maybe for internet.
So we
fiber.
just finished up a contract with Frontier.
Oh, Frontier, yeah, there you go.
That was
Yep.
our dark fiber before, and now we're going to be partnering with Fort Dodge Fiber.
Fort Dodge Fiber, yep. And they've been around for a couple years now.
They're getting everything up and running. So we're real excited to partner with them. They've been really great. Along with the fiber, they've agreed to help us with guest network for during Dodger sporting events. So families and fans, they'll have a way to connect to the internet during those games.
So if you think back to like the Don Miller invite, I know is always a big one, the wrestling one. Everybody's on track wrestling. Everybody's trying to get on their phones. Everybody wants the guest Wi-Fi password.
Absolutely. So I mean, more and more, it's just devices trying to connect, and I think it's been a challenge for us. Budget constraints and things like that. But through this partnership, we were able to get something in place, and we're real excited to get it rolled out. So stuff's going in right now. Yep. So probably within the next week or two, we'll be doing some testing and it should be ready to roll out.
Yeah,
so
that'd be awesome.
It'll be at our main gym at senior high, and then we'll have we'll have the same setup at Dodger Stadium. So
at Dodger Stadium as well. Yep. Yeah, that'll be awesome. That changes it, right? Technology is kind of driving a lot of things, even athletics.
Yeah, it's in everything.
Yeah.
It's in everything.
So, all right. Well, that's it for Board Tidbits. All right. Well, on today's episode, it's all about district technology. I'm going to use a weird comparison for Kevin here. So this is Kevin Bailey. He's the director, our technology director across the district. But I just went to the production of The Wizard of Oz for the middle school, and you're kind of like the Oz. No one probably sees you. A lot of people probably don't know who you are a little bit. And I say that funny, like I know the people that work for us know, but sometimes technology, a lot of that happens behind the scenes. So yeah. I kind of refer you're kind of the Oz behind the curtain that probably a lot of people don't see or know, but you make a lot of stuff happen. So
yeah.
Excited to have you on today's episode.
Thanks.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your career a little bit, your family, maybe where you grew up.
Yeah, so I grew up here in Fort Dodge. Graduated from Fort Dodge Senior High. So I've been working for the district for, I think this is my 16th year in the technology department. So I've been director for, I think it's 5 years now. So hopefully it's actually better if you don't know who we are, because that means we're doing our jobs. So True. If you know who we are, there's probably something wrong. Yeah. But we, I got a great team. Everything really is, they do they're the ones out there in the classrooms, seeing the students, the teachers. So I'm really thankful to have those guys. Yep. Most all credit just goes to them. So they're really dedicated to what we do here and to the district and the community and the students. So very thankful for those guys. What kind of got you excited to get into the technology world a little bit? So, I've always just kind of had an interest in it. Like clear back just as a kid, it kind of just, the opportunity came up. I went through Iowa Central for my college degree, and then so I got lucky because I did my internship with Fort Dodge Schools coming out of there, and then worked my way up. So started out as intern, and then got hired on, and then now I'm the director. So it's kind of been a wild ride. So.
I think when I first got here, so Jeremy Pearson who's at Fort Dodge Fiber now, right? Yep. And how long was he in that role before you were there?
I don't know.
Not sure.
A long time. Yeah.
Long time. Yep. Yeah. I remember him being here, and then when I was just the AD when I first got here. So I remember that transition a little bit. So, there's a couple of essential things that happen when you're the superintendent. One is you're one of the first ones in the building in the mornings, and part of that is probably to make sure we're up and running, because it feels like life shuts down if we don't have internet.
Yeah.
And so what are some of the keys and most important things that you're watching for on a daily basis?
So we have systems that help us monitor network activity, and if something goes down, we get alerts for that. So, but we're really trying to plan around to where so if something does happen, that we're able to still function and carry on through our day. So, if it's affecting learning, we're trying to make sure that that we have the resources for the classroom. So for the teachers and the students to continue on with their coursework. So that's kind of our main goal.
Yeah.
A lot goes into it. The systems are really complex. I mean, so I think I mentioned earlier, but we have 10 sites around the district that we control. And then, so all the staff members and all the students and all the support staff that are there. So it's a lot to manage. But I think with my team, we do a pretty good job, I think.
Yeah,
so.
Not pretty good, a really good job, right?
Well, thanks, I appreciate that.
you're the guy and I'm the guy that gets a little nervous when power kicks out, right?
Yeah, power kicks out, you know,
kicks out and kicks back on.
Any unforeseen. So you do your best to plan around it. You know, you can't plan for everything. So when something happens, we just kind of take it in stride and work through the problem. And hopefully it's, you know, a short amount of time, but not always. What
would be some of, you know, people out there may wonder, like, it's one thing to have a firewall at your house, right? Everybody remembers when you had like you had your little internet box, but you also had to have firewall with it too. Like, what are some things, like, we're a huge system. What are some things that you put in place just to help protect us even more?
Yeah. So, well, you mentioned firewall. We're just now making preparations. We're going to upgrade our firewalls. And you could kind of think about those like, it's kind of like the security guard outside your front door. You know, you wouldn't want to leave like your door wide open. So that's kind of its role. Or I guess in our case, it's more like airport security. It's a little bit more than just a guy outside your door.
Just a guy outside the door, yeah.
So it's kind of helping keeping, you know, the things we need to come in and out of the network going, and then try to prevent stuff that isn't supposed to be grabbing or getting into our network. So besides firewalls, we have a pretty robust wireless network, you know, so we have, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it's probably somewhere around 5,000 wireless devices that we're supporting each day. So that can be kind of challenging, but we've just just this last year, we upgraded all of our access points. We're working through doing a lot of network equipment in each of our buildings so that stuff is more modern, and that we can control it a little better. So
I think even just, you know, you talked about the fiber integration and the changes. I think we're almost quadrupling our speed, I think, when we make this changeover, correct? Something around there. Yeah,
we're gonna boost our internet connectivity a little bit. So that'll be nice to have. We'll have a redundant connection, so if something should happen, we'll still have the ability to reach the network and the internet.
So we're not shutting down the whole district. And
that's the plan. Unless they both go out, and then I don't know what we'll do.
Then we'll have a big problem. I think people think of technology as, oh, we got a computer, you got an iPad, and then that's it. You know, I think people forget about the firewall and the security and
a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
Right. Like we hadn't even got into like door access.
Door access
cameras, like
security cameras.
Cameras. You do a lot with security cameras.
Phone systems. You know, we kind of mess around with everything. So there's not much that, at least nowadays, where it doesn't have an internet connection somehow. I mean, I think we even had a couple weeks ago, an appliance in one of our kitchens needed network access. So that was a surprising one to me. I mean, just you know, each year over, everything's connected.
It changes a lot.
So,
well, and that's why I said, I don't think people totally understand how robust that is, all the way from like bells and paging systems too, right? Like you get involved in those type of things. One thing I think would be kind of cool to talk about, like, we've started upgrading to a little bit better camera system when possible. Everything's driven by funding, by the way.
Absolutely.
Kevin and I talk about funding. He's trying to figure out what he can spend and how much he can spend and what we can get and unfortunately, like even at your own home, some things have to wait because you just can't afford them at the time. But we have started upgrading our camera system a little bit. Like, can you tell us kind of, like, I love it because now, you know, I have an app on my phone. So, you know, you forget your keys, you lose your key, something like I can get in a building from my app right from my app into a building. But maybe talk about our camera system upgrade a little bit because it's been kind of cool.
Well, our new camera system that we're switching over to is it's Verkada. And it's actually really nice because it allows us to control security cameras, our door access, and then also there's a few other pieces for like alarm systems. We don't have that quite in place yet, but you know, working with Ryan Utley.
Yep.
We're working to get all that stuff implemented. But the nice thing about this camera system is it's all cloud-based, so we're not running anything, these big servers on premise to try to record that data. So, and then some of the functionality that comes with it that is really nice is, so we can do facial recognition, we can recognize patterns, colors, and then it's also nice for us because if we're working with the police or something happens, we're able to share that video out to them at a much greater speed than in the past. So should something event happen, we will be able to collaborate with them on a much faster scale. So
so I think it's cool because if I remember, like, one of the first times, we don't have it completely everywhere. We're getting a little closer in some spots, but I do know, we had an individual that just wasn't allowed to be on property, or we didn't need to be on property. We marked his face. And every time he shows up on one of those cameras, like, we get notified. So like, or like if someone's in the building, like if you guys are listening, like if you're in a building and you can literally say, mark them, and it'll track them and recognize them through the whole entire building.
So we could set anybody as a person of interest. And the cool thing about this system is it will go through all the footage and pull where it's seen that person, and we can basically follow them right through the building. So, where they went, what they were doing.
And I know Roger Porter, our director of security and safety, is really, he really loves this system. It obviously helps him a lot when we're, trying to figure out an issue or trying to figure out where a kid went or investigating a situation or something like that. So
so it's miles ahead of our old system. I think it helps us as a district. I think it helps with collaboration. And also the nice part about it is it, like I was saying earlier, so like the door access, alarms, all that, it's all in one system, so it's easier for us to navigate and kind of coordinate all that stuff without having to jump in between, this door access system and do something here and then jump into another system. So it's all one pane of glass basically. So we've been real happy with it. It's been super nice and efficient. We just need a little bit more moolah to get it completed. Absolutely.
Shift gears just a little bit. So you've been doing this for about 5 years now. What has probably been, technology just evolves every day, right? We're putting in something within about 6 months. It's like your cell phone. Within 6 months, your cell phone's pretty much old. What would you say has been probably one of the things you've learned the most over the last 5 years? Working, because technology is an educational portion as well. Like, what have you probably learned the most?
Gosh, I don't know. I've really learned a lot. Just, so before I was director, I was just a support specialist. And, it was just like trying to solve day-to-day problems. But now that I'm director, it seems less about my technical skills, kind of, and more about management skills and just talking to people. And, one thing I do miss is being able to get out to the classrooms like I used to be able to, and just see the students and the teachers and kind of chat with them. But I don't know.
Well, I tell you, one thing I do appreciate is you do get to support the superintendent a little bit, because when he needs something or can't figure something out, and I feel like I'm not tech savvy. I'm a little. I'm just enough to be dangerous.
And mess
stuff up, and then I have to have you come fix it. So that's really, when the superintendent calls, Kevin usually comes and helps and makes sure I get my problem fixed. So mostly I've created that problem myself, is how this has worked. So we haven't really talked about this much as a district. There is an email chain going around between superintendents, but just the world of AI. What are some of your thoughts? Like, should we embrace it? Should we push back on it a little bit? Like, is there a happy medium?
So I think when it comes to AI, there's probably really no fighting it. So you just eventually it's just going to be incorporated into everything. But so right now, we don't block staff's ability to use AI. In fact, we encourage it. It is a useful tool if you're using it the right way. We don't allow students to use it quite right now. but our students are very clever. So, when they want to do something, they find a way to do it. So, But in general, we try to block AI at this point in time. So, but I can definitely see probably not too far in the future where that's something we're going to have to start, having some conversations about how we want to handle it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know. And there's lots of conversations at the collegiate level or the high school level about, having AI write your papers or chat GPT and is that appropriate, not appropriate? And, is it your idea? Is it not your idea? There's a lot of things out there, but you're right. It's here. It's not going, it's not going anywhere. One of the things that I've talked to you a little bit about, and Terry Bosinger, our director of curriculum, is we're going to do some AI training, right? So we're going to have someone come in, hopefully in the fall, and do some AI stuff with our administrators, teachers, and directors, because I think there's some opportunity there to help with workflow, efficiency.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So there's some really cool tools out there that they're not doing the work for you, but can help you with your work, clean up your work a little bit, make you more
increase
efficient.
Productivity.
So,
There's a lot of pluses to it.
Yeah.
There is some minuses, like you said. Maybe students aren't writing their paper the way they should, or using it for getting answers or something that.
Right. I don't know how they use it. You can ask it anything. Like you can.
Yeah.
It'll tell you the answer to almost any question you ask.
I think if they had this kind of stuff when I was a student, I probably would have found a way to use it too. So,
yeah. Oh yeah. Would they have those in the library? They used to have those. They would have the real book, but then they would have the other book was called Cliff Notes or something. Is that what it was? It was like a shortened version to tell you everything you needed to know.
Yeah.
That was a great tool to have at one point in my career, college, when I was in college. Not now. I don't even know if Cliff Notes even exist anymore, do they?
Yeah. You use the resources that you have available.
Exactly right. Also, how many devices do we have across the district? Like me and you talk about ordering, Chromebooks or Apple devices. We are kind of making a change to Apple a little bit, but maybe talk about how many devices, student and staff devices, you have to manage. And
yeah, it's quite a fleet of devices. So, we generally. So we try to achieve a 1-to-1 setup, so one device per student, but it's increased one device per student and staff member, but it's grown beyond that even. So sometimes you'll find staff members with 2 or 3 devices, or students need something to accommodate, so they'll end up having a couple devices. So, if you took our student count, we have at least that many devices plus staff members. So
we probably have 4,000 plus devices easily.
Oh yeah, easy. That's not even counting the security cameras and the door access and just all the projectors, phones.
Because I think
all the things that support.
Do we order what about? I think we just talked about this the other day, about 250 devices for 6th grade and.
Yeah. So every year.
6th and 9th or 6th and 10th?
6th and 10th.
6th and 10th grade,
Yeah, every year we've kind of developed a rotation. So the way it works out is every year, 6th grade, 10th grade will get a new device. So, and they'll carry those on for a couple years. So 6th grade will get a device and then another one in 10th grade, and then they'll carry that till they graduate. So, then we try. So at graduation, we offer the students the ability to buy that device if they're interested. If not, we'll try to use what we can out of them. Yep. Sometimes stuff gets reallocated to lower grades.
Yep.
Or we'll, for the devices we'll use the parts out of them.
Yep. We've sold some back at times.
Yeah, we've sold some back.
Yep.
So.
We're kind of making a shift a little bit. So we've been mainly Chromebooks for a really long time. We had some staff dabble in some Apple products. Mm-hmm. And now we've started to shift. Maybe our kids, we're starting I would say a slow shift, but sometimes a fast shift.
Yeah.
To Apple devices.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, there was some interest in maybe seeing what Apple devices could do for our district. And I was a little hesitant at first, only because I hadn't dabbled in it. Traditionally, we've just been kind of a Windows Chromebook environment. But we launched a pilot program and immediately got a lot of response from our staff. So I think it scaled up pretty fast. And we've been able to make it work. And the devices are just really nice. I think... battery life was always a complaint with our old devices, and I think having an Apple device solves that issue for us. But so right now we're K3 iPad. I think the move is to try to get 4th and 5th swapped over as soon as possible. We just moved Cooper Elementary School, so they're full Apple devices there, and then starting next week, we'll be making that same adjustment at Duncombe Elementary. So
for all the staff, right?
For all the staff. Yep. So
there's some cool things with Apple, right? So even from probably one of the things we've learned a little bit is from the teaching and learning part of it. Apple allows teachers to have a little bit more control of what's going on with the devices with kids.
Yep. Yeah. So I think it gives them a little bit more control over their classroom.
Yeah.
The way it was set up in the past, they were kind of locked to one certain area of the classroom. But so utilizing the MacBooks with Apple TVs, they're able to project to their screen and still be mobile around. So they can walk around, kind of interact with the students a lot easier and not have to be just stuck to that one area. So.
Yeah, it's a whole different world out there.
Yeah.
And that's teachers. We talk about it a lot, right? About a computer's a tool to help with the classroom. It's not the book. It's not the classroom. And so it's trying to find that balance as a teacher sometimes is a little bit difficult. And a lot of times kids these days really like to be on their device the whole time if they can. And, so there's always trying to find that balance. I could tell you some teachers use their device, the student device, especially 6 through 12 is where I notice it the most, because they have a one-to-one, they have a device with them all the time. Sometimes they're using a lot in certain classes, and some classes not so much.
Yeah.
So just trying to find that balance a little bit, and people probably don't realize that you manage printing a little bit too, right?
And printing. So
printing's on his list of things, and when people have questions, and we try to control that a little bit because we have devices, so we're not trying to have people reprint things that we already have. So that can be a thorn every once in a while.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance. When it comes to printing, I think people probably don't realize the overall cost that adds to our district. So we don't want to stop anybody from getting the materials that they need, but we also want them to be mindful of just how fast that money adds up. Yeah. Because you got to think of it district wide.
Right.
So
not just
at that building or that classroom. Yeah. I mean, it's so
a lot more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. When you start doing the math on it, those numbers add up really quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
once again, we'd like to thank today's sponsor, Decker Truck Line. The roads keep evolving, and so do we. At Decker Truck Line, we deliver with precision, powered by modern equipment, advanced technology, and drivers who take pride in doing it right. It's not just about the miles. It's about efficiency, support, and a company that has your back from dispatch to destination. Family-owned, future-focused, built in Fort Dodge, and moving freight nationwide. Decker Truck Line. Drive forward. Drive Decker. Just going to wrap up today's episode. Appreciate Kevin coming on today, Director of Technology. So, but as you know, has a lot of hats and does a lot of things across the district. So I know from my seat and what I do every day, very much appreciate you and your team, your response ability to help us get things done, keep us moving. I just know we both know how loud it gets when things aren't, when things are down. Try to avoid that as much as possible, don't we?
Yeah.
So just as we wrap up, any final thoughts, anything else you'd like to share about your department and things you guys do, technology across the district?
Yeah, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head right now, but just, we, hopefully we're getting the resources that, the teachers and the students need into their classrooms, and, we'll continue to modify that and work on it to, to hopefully kind of get a nice system in there for them, give them the things they need to kind of get through their day.
Yeah, awesome. Just as we wrap up, Joan Asherle is retiring from the middle school this year. I think someone said she's been teaching middle school vocal music for 40 years. She just did a production of The Wizard of Oz with middle school kids as a musical. So I haven't always been able to get to the middle school musical the last few years that I've moved back, but I was able to go to The Wizard of Oz. Fantastic production. And if we ever wonder why our high school musical is so good, that's part of it, right? Another thing that people don't probably realize that technology does is when the sound system isn't going well at the high school or the middle school, you guys are there to help get that going. But a huge shout out to Joan and the musical production of the Wizard of Oz. It was fantastic. They did an excellent job. It was a packed house on a Thursday night at Fort Dodge Middle School. So that was cool. Awesome. Probably shout out St. Edmunds boys basketball is going to be in the state finals on Friday night. Starts at 5:00. So huge shout out to them. Great for our community. Coach K is retiring at the end of the year. Hopefully they can finish the job and get the job done tonight. And that'd be pretty cool for them to do that. Really special for our community and St. Edmunds. So kind of as we close out, quiet week. Hopefully everybody, staff, teachers, and those that didn't have to work this week for spring break enjoyed that time away. Have seen lots of people mark this one on their calendar and go on trips and get out of town for a little bit. And, some people are in Mexico, Cabo. Some people have spent their time in Des Moines at the state tournament, and some people just had staycations and stayed home. So no matter what you did, hopefully our patrons enjoyed that. Iowa Central and St. Ed's, we all have the same spring break. So really a lot of downtime around the town of Fort Dodge. So hopefully everybody enjoyed their spring break. Thanks again for joining us on the Fort Dodge Schools podcast. Be sure to follow for more stories, updates, and board tidbits. Until next time, go Dodgers.
Thank you for listening to the Dodger Download, your source for all things Fort Dodge schools. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share with your friends, family, and fellow Dodgers. For more update and resources, visit us at fdschools.org or follow the Fort Dodge Community School District on social media. Until next time, keep showing that Dodger pride. This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital. Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market. Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarket.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarket.com. That's digitalagent@spinmarket.com or 515-302-8026. Or visit our website at www.spinmarket.com.